It's too hot. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm top music attorney, Miss Krystle, and this is the Top Music Attorney podcast, the place where you learn how to master the entertainment business, learn how to stay legally protected every Tuesday and Friday at 7 p.m. p.s.t. We have our tea. My team was telling me we need to get official Top Music Attorney mugs. What do you think? I meant it for my producer that's listening right now. I meant to tell him the idea was we need mugs, but like we need to have our shirts, and then I guess you can connect it all to the YouTube channel. We need to do that too. So hello in the chat as you guys are filing in. I want to say a very special thank you to our community. We hit 16,000 subscribers today. Yay! Very excited as our community continues to grow. We're giving you some gold tips. We're interviewing the best in the business on this channel, and we're teaching you really, how to be a professional and how to hack the music business. And that's the purpose of the show. Now, we are live, and we go live specifically because as you guys are leaving your comments and your questions, I can answer them on the fly. So this is where you get your questions answered for free. You guys know I'm a real entertainment attorney. We are at capacity with my law firm, so this is the best place that you can come to get your questions answered. Hello, hello. Yes, thank you very much on the 16,000. It's exciting as we're going through this journey because, we are only going to celebrate 16,000 one time, right? And I feel at some point this channel will pivot and have some explosive growth, and I'm so excited for if and when that happens, but I also really enjoy that we have such a tight-knit community, and I love those of you who do come back every show and you're checking in, and I appreciate you guys very much. Well, thank you very much. Hey now. All right, so other than 16,000, I want to tell you guys also, if you're an artist, music producer, musician, I decided I wanted to put together my 30 music business secrets every artist should know. And I'm going to do this as just a free giveaway, but I have all of these tips that, like come up as I'm talking to my clients, and I want to synthesize them into one kind of, thing that you can have so you guys can go through, learn this stuff, and then just know it. And it can be like your little, cheat sheet. So I'm excited for that. I don't know when it's going to be done, but I'm working on it. Where are you guys checking in from? Make sure you leave your city and state in the chat, and then we're going to run the intro real quick, and we'll be back to answer your questions. Hi guys, I'm top music attorney, Miss Krystle. I'm an entertainment attorney, public speaker, and creator of the Top Music Attorney School for artists and record labels. I'm the owner of Dukes Up Records, and most importantly, I'm an independent artist. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on those bell notifications so you don't miss my weekly videos giving you my best tips on the music business, industry news updates, and teaching you how to stay legally protected. Let's go. Ooh, we still too hot. I made my tea just way too close to showtime. I usually give it a few minutes to cool down, but it's too hot, so we're gonna do our thing. Yes, we're going to be covering all the news stories. And when I say all the news, we're going to cover a couple of news stories that popped on, including Fetty Wap. He has some problems happening. And yes, jailed is correct. Hello, hello. And then also we have a Taylor Swift story on kind of what's going on with one of her cases. And this is interesting. So hello in the chat. I hope everyone's doing good. Did you have a good weekend? I ended up going to this really nice house on Saturday because I was telling you guys, when it comes to content creation, if you're serious about your career, whatever you do, you got to make time to actually make your content. For me, I bulk shoot because I do not have time. I don't have time. I'm running a law firm. I have a show. I have a music career. I have all kinds of things I'm doing. So anyway, I went to a really nice house on Saturday and I did some bulk content creation, so we're going to start kind of rolling that out. In fact, I think I posted one of them today. Let me just show you before we get into all the more serious stuff. Why not? Now, as promised, and what we do every single show is I always have a music business tip for you guys. I do have one for today, and this one is this is such a game changer when it comes to if you are an artist, a record label, or anyone who kind of distributes music and specifically cover songs. So there's been kind of an update, and you guys definitely want to stick around for this. So let me share my screen so you can see on Miss Krystle platforms. All right, so here's one of the TikToks. I'm not gonna play the audio so we don't get demonetized. But here's my outfit, and I wanted you guys to rate the outfit to see if you liked it. Those shoes, can we take a second? Can we have shoe appreciation, okay? Those are actually my boots that I wore in my Dukes Up music video. And in the music video, I think I'm wearing like a blue bikini, and then I have this blue, coat over it. But then I'm wearing those boots, and I haven't worn them, I don't think. I could be wrong. I don't think I've worn them for anything else, but anyway, I was like, these seem like they go great with this outfit. So what do you guys think? UK, it is very, very early in the morning for you, or late at night, however you want to put it. Yeah, I've had a couple people mention this. So the Elvis movie, we definitely want to check it out. I know that you guys are telling me that it's just kind of this horror story about a manager that totally exploits him and utilizes and exploits the whole, family, right? We're family, you just sign the contract, don't have anyone review it, and then of course it was a very exploitive, so we're definitely going to watch it, and I appreciate you guys obviously telling me stuff that I need to check out. I'm trying to stay on top of it all, but it doesn't always happen. Chris, everything is content. You gotta create as much as you can when you can, then edit and release as and when. And for me, it's funny, I've cut out some editing from what I do, at least for my Miss Krystle content. I just take care of it myself because I feel and find that when I add extra people into the mix, it slows things down. I don't do it. So if I just kind of handle it, those boots are insane. Those boots are great, okay? They're really hard to drive in, but they're the best. I dress very well. I'm trying. I'm not that stylish. As you guys notice, I wear like one of 3 t-shirts every show on this show, and that's just because I need simple. You like the outfit? Very good. Happy to hear that. Ooh, we have another early morning bird. Thank you for checking in. I appreciate it. All right, so let's go back in and see kind of where we're at. We're going to be running a music video as always, and I thought I'd just let you guys know, for those of you who do follow my music and kind of what I'm doing with Miss Krystle, we are going to be releasing, this is the first time I'm saying this, but we are going to be releasing a video on Thursday on Miss Krystle YouTube, separate channel, for Middle of the Night. That's the new cover song that I released. And so if you like that song, you want to see the video, make sure you go subscribe on Miss Krystle YouTube. But in the meantime, we're going to run a quick video. We're going to be watching the #1 Crush, which is another cover that I did of the band Garbage. Hopefully you guys love that band, and if not, the song is fantastic. So if this is the first time you're hearing it, I'm excited for you to hear it. So let's run that. We'll be back, and we'll be getting into all things newsy.
Yes.
Hey, thanks, Courtney. Badass song. Glad you like
Yes.
it.
Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Whoop whoop. Here we go.
Let's
Yes, coming out
go.
on Thursday. Orko killing it on the beat. Yes, indeed.
Yes,
I'm so
thank you.
glad you guys
Appreciate
like
that.
this one.
Appreciate that. Yeah, no, Garbage is one of my favorite bands, and that's actually the second Garbage song that we did. We also did The Trick is to Keep Breathing, which is a really cool. That one's actually more of a full production music video. So if you go to Miss Krystle on YouTube, you will be able to find that full music video. But what is going on to the community? I just wanted to say, I hope everybody had a great weekend. It's great that you're back with us. Be sure to join our community. Hit like on the channel right now. If you're watching us on Facebook, if you're watching us on YouTube, whatever channel, please hit like. It helps our algorithm so much. Like there's,
Yeah, it helps. It helps it get pushed out to the rest of our followers and then some.
and we
So
are live every
Harley,
Tuesday and Friday.
and Friday. Harley, so made a comment about the medium being 166. It's funny, little side story. So I did a post about this on my Instagram, just talking about how there's been nationwide fraud that occurred for a lot of like
Oh
private law
yeah,
schools. And while I ended up finishing my degree at Sandra Day O'Connor College of Law, the first school that I started at was not that school. It was a private school, and they had touted and were even charging more than ASU. But they touted this. We have very high GPAs in order to get in. It's only the top tier, upper crust. Like they were making all these promises about the quality of the education, that kind of thing. And so, what we found out was that this was one of many schools that had been lying and letting students in who did not meet, requirements. They had GPAs of like 2.6, I think, at one point, right? So it wasn't really the upper crust of anything. And so, what they were doing is that these schools would let the
barely
students
reading.
in, and then the students would go and apply for student financial aid, right? So federal aid. And then the schools would get paid. So they ended up, making millions and millions of dollars through the students taking out student loans, basically defrauding the students, defrauding the government. And
Yikes.
they got caught.
Hey.
So, yes, you know, the good news, at least for me, is that it's going to be a long process, but I'm applying for some student
Get
loan
that money,
forgiveness
girl.
because of that. We'll see. We'll see. I don't want to get my hopes up too much, but in any case, that Orko, how you feeling? You had some
Good.
blood work today.
I did have some blood work, as the community knows. I've mentioned a couple of times if you're with us. I was earlier a couple months ago diagnosed pre-diabetic, and so since that has happened, I have been taking my eating very, very seriously. I've completely changed my diet, cut out all sodas, cut out all um, like carbs. I've had like two cheat meals in 2 months. Which are burgers. But today I got my follow up blood work, so I'm waiting to hear the results of that to see if all my hard work over the last 2 months has done any good, or if I'm in this for the long haul.
Oh, you're in this for the long haul, but we'll see. We'll see how you're looking on Friday,
Oh
and we
no,
can
yeah. As
update you
far as
guys.
I mean, as far as just saying if I've rolled back my numbers any from this to where I'm no longer pre-diabetic, but I'll tell you, my lifestyle's changed. Like I'm done eating the way I was. I'm done with like the way that I was drinking soda like crazy and ice cream and cookies. Like I'm done with it. I don't need it. There's still new balances that I'm trying to work out with my eating and what I'm eating, but yeah, I'm actually pretty shocked how well I've stuck to it. I mean, I've lost weight. I've um, you know, found somewhere where I'm not super hangry all the time, but I get a little upset, hung
Hup,
set.
upset, right? Right. No, we were. Well, I took some of my a couple of girls on my team out over the weekend because it was birthdays all around. So we did, just a little outing, and we were talking
No,
about all the different crazy stuff that I've been
we
trying.
have a
Because you
great
guys know
team.
I love my team. I have an amazing team,
Great
but
team.
we were talking about all the crazy shit that I'm trying. I'm like, I really need to just start a new YouTube channel. It needs to be things like I tried, eating no sugar for 60 days. Here's what happened. And then I could just do a
Right.
little summary because that's what I do. I do these long-term stretches of trying all the crazy stuff and celery juice every morning and lemon and, hardcore ginger shots,
Now you're
this and
always on
that.
something new.
Yeah, and it's fun for
What?
me, but, it doesn't really fit into my channels that I have.
No, maybe we'll do like a Miss Crystal Tries channel or something.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see. I'm not making any announcements. And if I actually end up doing that, I probably am not going to tell you guys. I'm going to keep it on the down low.
It'll be a secret channel, and they'll go, hugest YouTube star ever, and you're like, oh my god, that's that attorney. Yay.
That's right. That's right. But in any case, we do have some news stories.
We do, but I also just wanted to plug one more thing because you're talking about the music videos and stuff, and we were talking about that earlier. We also sent off the first song of our new release to the mixer as well. I don't know if you had mentioned that earlier in the stream, but that's pretty exciting. The process.
Yes, our upcoming album. He means not something that's out yet. So of the upcoming album, the first one is out for mixing.
And it's pretty exciting, and we got the second one just about ready to send out. That should be out in the next couple of days. Very excited about this, but just the process of you record it, and then the biggest, as a producer, the biggest kind of pain in the ass for me is rendering down all the stems to send to the mixer. That's always quite the undertaking for me because I'm very particular and want everything right. And but yeah, no, just fun stuff.
All good things.
Behind the scenes.
All right, so we picked out two stories that kind of stuck out to us, and I'm going to jump into the first one.
Yeah, let's do it.
Rapper Fetty Wap arrested, and his $500,000 bond has been revoked after allegedly wielding a gun during a FaceTime video call.
Yikes.
So the background to this is that on Monday, he was allegedly threatening to kill someone on a FaceTime call. And so he was as they say, wielding. He was, showing his gun on the video call. And so this guy who's John Doe, but he filed an affidavit saying this had happened and that Fetty Wap had, been threatening to kill him. Okay, so now this was not good on a couple different levels. The biggest one, or one of the biggest ones, just being that Fetty Wap is now in jail. And why is that, Orko?
Because he violated his probation from his other arrest. He had a gun. He wasn't supposed to have a gun. When you kind of dive a little bit deeper into the story, the guy that he was threatening was doing some very harsh posting about his daughter who had passed away, and just saying some.
And this wasn't too long ago. I think she passed away in July of 2021. Not to say, it justifies it one way or another, but Fetty Wap's attorney that had offered that and just said, look, to the extent that this is true, he did violate the order specifically in regards to being out on this bond, who wouldn't be upset? And the judge is like, yeah, I hear ya.
Yeah, no, he was like, yo, I get it. I mean, he didn't say, yo, I get it. But he said, I understand, I sympathize with you, but you had a gun and you were clearly threatening to kill him and everybody. I think he said something like, I'm going to kill you and everybody with you. And I believe I read that they actually have the video. So he not only signed it, but then they also have some of the clips and stuff from it. They haven't released those, but they.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the video, but there is a signed affidavit.
I've seen screenshots.
And if that was obviously one of the biggest things that swayed the court. But Fetty Wap was indicted and arrested in October. Okay, this was along with 5 other drug trafficking conspiracy charges. So he has a world of hurt that he's dealing with right now, but he was out on this bond and he violated the order.
I think it would have been a completely different story if he just didn't have the gun. If he was just like, yo, when I catch you out, you know what I mean? Like as soon as I clear up all this other stuff, we are going to handle this like some gentlemen in the streets, you know what I mean? Or whatever it is he was going to say. But seriously, like just the fact that he had the gun, just even with him when he's already facing this much kind of trouble, like I get it. It's a lifestyle. It's hard. I'm not in his shoes. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like what he's got to do, but it's definitely, don't ever write down your death threats. Don't ever be on.
Well, let's be clear though. Yes, you're not, don't threaten to kill people. That's a whole thing. But specifically, the violation of the court order was that the court order said he must not possess a firearm, destructive device, or other weapon. Okay, so it wasn't even necessarily that he was threatening to kill this guy.
But that wasn't good either.
Into it. But that he was told not to have a firearm, and he did anyway.
So it's kind of rough, but again, like I don't know his position, and his anger I feel like was justified, but obviously that's that's going to just, you have to protect yourself, especially when you're on probation. You just got to make sure that you're kind of keeping it clean. You got to get off probation before you get in more trouble. But
that's right.
I mean, I'm over.
So to Fetty Wap's attorney, which I looked up the name, so it actually is, I think we referenced it as him. So her, Elizabeth Macedonio, I think is how you say your
Yes.
last name. In any case, of course, she was pleading to the judge to be sympathetic. Who wouldn't be sympathetic to anyone who had lost a child? But alas.
You may need to refresh. Just real quick. While you are waiting for it to come back, let's go ahead and hit like on that stream. Help us out. If you have ever been on probation, type I have in the comments.
There we
Yeah,
go.
we
We're
got it.
back.
We got it all. We got it all back.
All right, there we go. And for those of you who are curious, so his daughter did pass in July of 2021. It was due to complications by a congenital heart arrhythmia.
That sucks. Yeah, I mean, don't. I don't know. It's always weird when you come after somebody and you're using their children. I don't even like it so much when you see a lot of kids in paparazzi or even taking photos of kids. I mean, this is something completely different, but just like when you're calling kids into question and a lot of these parents posting their kids social media and I don't know. It's very. I don't know. I don't. It's very touchy when you're messing with kids.
It's gonna hit a nerve.
Yeah,
And obviously
for
it
sure.
did for Fetty Wap.
And that was the point. That was the point. That was what the guy was trying to do.
Right. All right, so let's move on. It looks like, let me go real quick to the chat. You shared all the all the groups on the book too. Thank you very much. All right, guys. So I do have How to Keep Your Dukes Up in the Music Business. If you are in the music business, it's really just like the A to Z guide on being successful. It's geared a little bit to artists and producers and musicians and that kind of thing. But I'm really going through all
Vital.
the stuff, right? Trademarks and copyrights. I'm giving you contract templates. It's really, the mastery of the music business. I'll be coming out with a second edition at some point soon. I need to get that thing updated because you know how it is. The music business changes every month. So, but thank you for sharing. That means a lot. I really appreciate it.
And it's really cool because, I mean, even since the book comes out, I know how organized you are and you've just constantly been adding things for the update. So when we make that announcement, it's going to be coming pretty quickly because we're always on top of things, as you know.
That's right. Okay, so let's move on. We have a story on Taylor Swift. Now, we have covered Taylor Swift a couple times. I think that was the first time we've covered Fetty Wap. But
Yeah.
we have been covering Taylor Swift. Obviously, she is making moves. She is quite the powerhouse. But Taylor Swift files a motion in the Shake It Off copyright lawsuit, and she says her lyrics were written entirely by her. Okay, guys, so just as a quick recap, this lawsuit had to do with the Play Is Gonna Play song by the group 3LW.
3LW.
Okay, and they were basically going after those lyrics of, play is gonna play, play.
Yeah, because they had Play Is Gonna Play, Hate Is Gonna Hate. So
Hate is gonna hate. And these are really important phrases. Okay, let's be kind of fair. If you guys have, and everyone has heard, obviously, both songs, but in the 3LW song, it's a very prominent phrase, right? So, sometimes something will be so insignificant, it'll be so de minimis that the court's gonna say, I'm not really gonna attach separate copyright protection for those two words, right? In love. Right? So something that is so kind of generic and used so widely in the marketplace that it would be silly to be like, this one person has copyright over those two words. In a way, that's kind of what Taylor's saying. But she goes on and she goes, well, what did she say in regards to kind of her exposure to the song?
Oh, no, she just always just talking about how she was raised and stuff, and just saying she wasn't even exposed to MTV where she would have been exposed to 3LW until she was a certain age, and she went as clear to say, I've never owned a 3LW album. I've never owned That's What I Call Music Volume 6 or Volume 7. She was just very clear. And I mean, let's keep it real. Like 3LW, like you kind of might have missed them. I mean, obviously they have some major songs, and I was aware of 3LW. But I mean, you because they weren't like they weren't like Destiny's Child. I mean, they were kind of on the fringe. They had a couple of songs, and then obviously there was Cheetah Girls that happened later on and stuff, and that kind of got more exposure to. But I mean, if you're in a certain age group, you might have missed it. And then based on her exposure, and she even had her mom just saying I was regulating what she was watching on the farm, and she wasn't allowed to
Right.
watch that stuff.
Mom's going to give some written statements now. But guys, the reason why this matters is because in copyright lawsuits, as part of the claim, it's important to be able to show that there's likely been some kind of exposure, right? So if we can very clearly say this person has lived in a hill and they've had zero internet access for the last 3 decades,
Right.
there's no way they could have ever heard the song or been inspired by it. That's a good, compelling argument and defense. Now, unfortunately, it's not so great because of our
Right.
digital age. The fact that music is on all streaming platforms in all countries, or most, almost all countries. But nonetheless, I think that's the purpose of why she's saying, and in her motion for summary judgment, which is what she filed, which is to say, hey, court, I want you to make a determination now and to kick this case out and to be done. I don't want to continue. I don't want to go to trial. So that's what she's trying to do, but you got to give the judge everything the judge needs to make that determination. So that includes obviously her statements, apparently
Right.
mom's statements.
Well, then she also said that she has, I guess documentation of her wearing a T-shirt in, 2013 that says "Haters gonna hate." That she bought at Urban Outfitters. So like, this is not like, and even in three LW's case, like, I mean, this is kind of like they didn't come up with that phrase. Like, it's kind of like an on the nose thing. Like, when I first heard it, I kind of thought it was always a play on kind of like the Fleetwood Mac, players only love you when thers playing, play is gonna, it's not really that deep. So I know, but the 3LW, I mean, they definitely have a case that I would see. Like, if I had written that song, I'd probably be like, we might have to shoot our shot at this one. But I think that they're different enough, but it's pretty tricky. But again, I'm not an attorney. I'm just a music producer that I'm just like, come on, man. It's like I didn't take 3LW. It's people have always said play is gonna play, hate is gonna hate. Come on.
Yeah, no, and that's partially what Taylor Swift is talking about. She
It's like the
goes, she's heard
70s.
variations of the relevant phrases "players gonna play," "haters gonna hate" through her entire life on countless occasions, including while growing up in Pennsylvania and Tennessee. These phrases were akin to other commonly used sayings like "don't hate the playa, hate the game," "take a
Right.
chill pill," "say it, don't spray it." She said,
Right.
"I drew on those commonly used player and hater phrases in creating the lyrics because the player's gonna play, 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 play."
Yeah. No, I think it's just clever. She had a good time with the lyric, and I would be, it's just so common. It's just so common. They didn't. So I think it's tricky. But again, if I was them, I would shoot my shot too, because the lyrics are the lyrics are. It's just, you know what I mean. It's just, come on. Like, I just have a hard time believing that, but that Taylor took it from.
Well, and one other thing that I'll add on top of this is that Taylor Swift has a not a procedural history, but she is likely to get a license with someone that she thinks there could be some confusion about, right? So she's done this before where she preemptively will reach out to someone and say, I didn't rip off your song, but I think that my melody sounds a little bit like yours, so I'm going to cut you in and we're going to come up with an agreement. So she has a very big legal team. She
The right
knows
said
that.
Fred.
Right, exactly. And I'm just blanking on what her song was.
Look what you made me do.
Look what you made me. Is that the name?
Yeah, yeah.
We all
I
know
think
the
it's
hook.
everything. Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
the name of the song.
So in any case, preemptively reaching out and just saying, I think that there's some similarities here, and so we're just going to cut you in because I don't want to deal with this. I don't want
Ed
to have to go to
Sheeran
court,
and
and that's very
TLC.
smart. Yeah. Yeah, so and in the fact that she seems to be going a little hard on this one, and she's filing that motion to dismiss, and she's, I think plays a little bit into, is she credible, right? Can we believe Taylor Swift when she's saying, no, I wrote 100% of these lyrics, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, no, I mean, if it was something like, where we're talking more of like, I'm always looking for like melodies and kind of on the nose, because I think it's just so much harder, especially with how much music is being ingested into the system every single day from every single artist all over, whatever. And it's like, people are just, paying for, advertisements and stuff to get their music kind of out there and stuff. So if I happen to hear a snippet of your song, if I accidentally saw your ad in Facebook, are you going to come with for me because I heard your song? Like, come on. So I mean, I think we need to get a little bit stricter on some of these, the way that these are cases are kind of looked at for myself, because I think it's just hard not to find something, some kind of similarity somewhere, especially
Yeah,
with
and I was
lyrics.
Yeah, no, and while we're talking, I was just seeing if there's been any update because the last story we covered on Taylor Swift was in regards to her stalker being
Yeah,
arrested following
arrested.
an incident at
Hmm.
her New York home. Be
But she
sure to
wasn't
check
home at
out
the
that video
time.
if you haven't watched it yet. It doesn't look like there's much update as of yet, but we'll be continuing to follow that story as well.
Very good.
Taylor Swift sees the big picture, I think.
Oh, I mean, it's and it's not like these things
She's a
don't
good hater.
happen. I mean, artists take stuff from other artists all the time. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even trying to say that big artists don't take from little artists or something like that. I'm just saying, just for me, just particularly, just like those lyrics. Like, yes, I get it, but it's just so like you didn't come up with those lyrics. I know you didn't come up with those lyrics. Like it's crazy. Come on,
That's so funny. So I love that you said this. Suing is the new side hustle.
love
We've
it.
heard commonly about ambulance chasers, right? In
Right.
the world of, personal injury. But I've also seen this with things where there are statutory damages prescribed. So, for example, a lot of companies have been getting hit because there are, people who go out to see whether websites comply with the different federal regulations saying that you need to make your website accessible to the general public. You need to have kind of specialized little things for hearing impairment, for visual impairments. And so there are people who will basically just file lawsuits because they know bigger companies will just settle and they'll just pay. And
That's
so we
it.
see that
That's it.
we've talked about that when it
That's it.
comes to publishing companies, that they, as part of kind of their business model, it seems like they are just filing lawsuits for copyright infringement because someone had a song playing in the back of a TikTok video or
Right.
something.
Right.
And so that's their whole job, is to go and file lawsuits to get these payouts through settlement. So I think
Well,
that's a real
we're
thing.
and I mean we're gonna obviously gonna be getting to into some more like kind of like TikTok conversations as we kind of move forward because they're working with new with the labels and stuff like that, and as far as getting music out there and making it kind of easier for content creators to use like the music and stuff in their videos. So and YouTube is as well. So well, I think we're gonna see new deals kind of being made so some of these lawsuits can maybe kind of go away for some of that stuff.
100%. Yeah, so that's what we got popping off in the news, and as always, we'll be continuing to, see what's going on and checking in with you guys on Friday in regards to the news segment. Always feel free to make recommendations as well as far as what you guys think, is interesting, or if we miss anything.
Yeah, and I mean, we got some reaction videos that we're going to be doing too this week, and possibly some live reactions coming up. We're just trying to figure out the best way to deliver those because sometimes when we're running videos on the stream, they get a little choppy, and we want to make sure that you guys can not only hear the song, but you're like participating in real time, so you guys can interact in the best way. But sometimes these interwebs can
These
get quite
interwebs. But I want
tangled.
to. I'm pushing, and we'll see what we end up deciding to do. But I'm pushing really hard to see if we could do some of these music video reactions live.
Right.
It's gonna cause the live stream to get demonetized, potentially blocked, and we'll have to fight it and all that once we're done. But I think it would be a lot of fun if we did that because then you guys don't only have a chance to actually be on the live stream, giving feedback, giving thoughts as we do it together. But then, that Orko can be on it with me as well. For all of the reaction videos or music video reactions that I've done thus far, it's been just me. And obviously, he has a lot of interesting perspectives. So I think that we should just try it and see what
We'll
happens.
see how it goes. So you guys will have to bear with us if there's technical problems, and then that video might not get released on its own. Because as you know, like part of the things, one of the things we preach for content creation, and especially I do, is it's great to make long form content and then chop that content up so you can utilize it in different ways and stuff like that. So we just might have to make a fresh reaction. So you have to bear with us if it doesn't work out. But we want you guys here. We want to include you guys, and the more that we can do with you, the better.
100%. All right, so moving on. Thank you, that Orko, for joining us. I have a special tip for you guys, and of course, if you were on last show, we had our first artist review that we did. It was for the artist D-Bangs, who is a rapper, and he's just doing crazy stuff. We were talking about how one of his songs had like I think it's over 150 million
Yeah, it was
plays
crazy.
on it on Spotify. So he's killing the game. But in any case, if you do want your music reviewed, you're looking for just some input, you can, and there's the link. You can click the link, which is down in the description,
In the
to
description
get
as
your
well.
stuff reviewed.
All right.
Yes.
All right, guys.
Very
Thank you
good.
guys so much for being here. But if you guys leave, before you leave later on, we got a second video coming up, a music video from Miss Krystle. And then as well, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Join our community. It's so important.
Thank you, that Orko. Hey. All right, so let's see. Before I jump into this, let me make sure there's any questions I need to answer. Here on Facebook. So do you think that social networks should be better regulated regarding copyrights? They're actually doing pretty good thus far. So I think specifically Meta, so Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, they're doing a pretty good job of regulating copyright and making sure copyright owners are starting to get paid, and that when music is played in live streams, those live streams are being taken down or blocked, which is actually kind of annoying if you are an artist. Even for me, I've live streamed, I've had my music playing, and then, it gets a copyright claim just because they're automated. So they don't know that necessarily it's my music that I'm playing. They're like, oh, someone else owns this. And so then they shut down your live stream. So on one end of it, yes, we do see a lot more regulation happening, and that is good, but they have to automate it. So you're losing that human touch to make sure that things aren't going over the board, and that is happening, unfortunately. Courtney, it never ceases to amaze me all the colorful ways some people come up with to make money. I'll give them credit there. Well, that's true in general. All right, so why don't we go ahead and move on? I'm excited for this tip. For today's music business tip, I'm going to be discussing, are mechanical licenses needed and how to legally post cover songs. Now, I have 2 videos on this channel that talk about how to legally post cover songs. I go into detail about kind of how they work, and I'm going to discuss it all in this video, but I'm going to make sure that I have a playlist for all my understanding copyrights is linked down below for you guys, especially if you're watching this a little bit later, because on that playlist, I'm not only doing things like literally showing you how to file your own copyright in the United States, but I've added, the videos where we do the news stories on what's happening, so you guys can learn through real situations, real lawsuits, real contract, disputes. So it's a really, really good playlist on this channel. Make sure you check that out. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to Top Music Attorney, because I'm releasing videos all the time to help you guys with your music careers, your music businesses. And, while my clients pay a lot of money to get this information, I'm giving it to you for free because I love your faces and I appreciate you being part of my community. So, number one, when it comes to just comes to cover songs, why do we do it? We, as artists, have a tendency to want to do cover songs because it's great for marketing, right? You give people an opportunity to hear your voice, to hear your talent, to hear your guitar playing, to hear your drums, without needing to sell them on a song. Because if you're trying to sell them on your original music, you have to sell them on you as well as the song. So you kind of eliminate one step and you have a higher likelihood of capturing fans who fall in love with you, who fall in love with your voice if you are a singer, for example. So, doing cover songs is such a great way to market yourself. Okay, so that's why we do it more often than not. When it comes to copyright law in the United States, the way it works is that we hear a lot about mechanical licenses, okay? In order to make your own version of a song, you need to get a mechanical license, or you used to, okay? Caveat. There's some exciting updates we're going to discuss. So, we talk about getting mechanical license, which are compulsory, which means any person could go and get one of these licenses without having to get permission from the actual rights holder. So that makes it really simple, right? So all of a sudden now we can go through companies like Harry Fox Agency, Easy Song Licensing, and we're not going to actually have to go to Lady Gaga's team or Lady Gaga to get permission to cover a Lady Gaga song, right? Or Metallica, or whoever it is that we're covering. So that's great. And the reason why is because under copyright law, there's a list of all these exclusive rights. If you made the song, you own it. So you have all these exclusive rights. And one of them is the right of reproduction, right? Making new versions. And so that's why when it comes to making cover songs, we need to make sure that we are getting these licenses, which is how the original songwriters get paid. Okay, so the mechanical licenses are pursuant to 17 USC section 115. And so this talks about phono records, right? So this is like the old school way of how we used to reference songs, sound recordings. And special little pro tip, if you guys are ever seeing on a recording, you'll see like a C in a circle, and that means, of course, copyright. So copyright owned, and you'll see a record label name, you'll see an artist name. If you ever see a P in a circle, that also means phono records, but the copyright of it. Okay, so just a little FYI. I had a client ask me that specific question, so I was like, I should tell you guys too. All right, so the way that it has worked for many, many years is that it was easy breezy. When it came to getting a mechanical license, you could just go through Harry Fox Agency, Easy Song Licensing. But the difference that happened in the last year, okay, it's been a little bit of a year and change. There was the Mechanical Licensing Collective that went into play. In the United States, the Mechanical Licensing Collective is a nonprofit, and as of 2018, they went into place for the purpose of being a company, or a nonprofit, I should say, an organization that is a collective of where all the money goes for your mechanical royalties, and then all you need to do is go sign up, right? So you go set up an account. So then what the MLC did is it created a relationship with the digital service providers, which is Spotify, which is Apple Music, right? So wherever your music goes. And then came up with an agreement that said, hey, DSPs, hey, Spotify, you're going to pay these mechanical licenses to our collective. That way, when we get paid, all we have to do is pay the artists. All we have to do is pay the songwriters. All we have to do is pay the publishers. So the idea was to simplify this whole process. And then that went into play as of January of 2021. Okay, so, as far as kind of what this means to you, we'll go through that and what you need to do to make sure you're collecting. Because guys, as I understand it right now, there's about $400 million that the collective has, and it hasn't paid it out to songwriters and publishers because they haven't gone and set up accounts. Now, my understanding is that you do have 3 years in order to do this. So I'm kind of giving you guys a little, once over so you know. But we're going to get back to the specifics of this video, which is how to post cover songs legally, why this all matters. Okay? So whereas we used to have to go and get a mechanical license, which covered your version of the song and only the audio. We've talked about this and we're going to go through it again. The audio is covered by a mechanical license, the visual is not. But now the question is, do I even need to get a mechanical license? Because the MLC is now in place, and as of January of 2021, if I give my music to the DSPs, Spotify, Apple Music, then the collective is dealing with it, and they're going to pay who they need to pay. So the answer is, and music distributors are saying this as well, you don't need to get your mechanical license anymore because the music platforms are required to pay those mechanical royalties to the people who are owed. Okay? So yay, because that means that's one less step that you need to worry about. Okay? But the other piece of this has to do with, well, what about the visuals? Because what we do know is that the visuals, videos, music videos, lyric videos, any visual element is not covered in what we're talking about. Is not covered by these mechanical licenses, not covered by, the collective, right? We are required to go and get sync licenses now. And that's where things get a little bit tricky. But there is a workaround and there is a loophole, luckily. When it comes to, let's say, YouTube. YouTube is the predominant place that we all post our videos for our cover songs, whether it's something just at the piano or you do like a more full production music video. And getting a sync license, it is obtainable. It's just very difficult because you're having to go then to the record labels or the publishers and work out a deal and pay these fees. And so what you find is that a lot of artists just simply don't do it. And they have a huge growth, right? Because these cover songs end up becoming very profitable. They will get hundreds of thousands, if not millions of subscribers, and nothing ever happens to them. And the question is, why is that the case? And I have the answer. Now on YouTube's worked out kind of this loophole because it has arranged agreements with a lot of the major record labels. And so what the record labels do is that they go, well, because we know that there's kind of a content ID in place, they will know when the cover song is for a particular song. So guess what? Your video will be claimed by the record label and say, Universal is claiming your song and all of the monetization ad revenue that comes from the video. And that's all they're going to do. They're not going to, essentially file a strike. They may, okay? And I'm going to say this with a caveat because the state of the law, which says you got to get the sync license, you got to get that permission, that's where it's at. However, it's not practical because we have hundreds of thousands of people who are just uploading cover songs, right? And so it's more profitable for the record labels, for the music businesses to go and just claim the ad revenue. And then, on the back end of that, obviously they're getting free promotion for the original song. There's that argument. But the loophole is created because of these arrangements between the companies, the record labels, and YouTube. Because YouTube is hosting these videos, this is something that is happening. And so that's what we've seen. So, as obviously an entertainment attorney, my job is to kind of talk about the state of copyright law, explain to you guys why it is the way it is and how it works, which is why I kind of went through a little of that procedural history of how we got here, how it works. But the great news is now, you don't have to go and get that mechanical license, which is one less step that we have to go through. While it is a very easy process to go through, you want to make sure, if nothing else, just check with your distributor. Just make sure that your particular distributor is kind of doing what they need to do. And the answer across the board so far has been all the major distributors that I've spoken with, that they are not requiring that mechanical license. They are distributing cover songs. And so that's the state of where things are at. So guys, I'm kind of doing one of these cover song update videos about every 6 months or so because there are changes that happen. And I'm excited to be kind of bringing you, not only the little tips and tricks, but practically how you do this. I mean, I've had conversations with artists who are kind of just getting back into music for after taking a break. And they have a lot of questions about how this is going to work practically. And then sometimes we get into the whole, what genre should I do? How should I do it? Video, setups and live streaming and all this stuff. And that's part of branding that we'll get into. But logistically and legally, that's everything you need to know in a nutshell. All right, jumping back into the chat. What's going on? I hope you guys found that helpful. Let me see if there's any questions. Oh, we're freezing. Yeah, and speaking of cover songs, it's important that I cover this for you guys because I have my cover songs that I released. And in fact, I like to do EPs. I'm working on my next 5-song, EP. I have the video coming on Thursday on Miss Krystle YouTube. All right, Courtney, I do covers. I'm not creative enough to write my own stuff. People have the most incredible careers because they go and do cover songs, and they'll do that for like 3 to 5 years. They build a substantial following of people who just fall in love with their voices, their performance if they're a guitar player, and they just do instrumentals. And they'll amass a huge audience, and then you can just go and hire someone to write you songs. There's so many incredible artists out there. I mean, we were just talking about Beyonce, right? And on just one of the songs we've been discussing, there were like 14 writers on it. Not to say that she didn't touch her own music, but it's very common that you would get someone in to help you. And maybe you learn as you go. If you're going to cover a song, do it in a different genre. That's a pro tip when it comes to effective marketing for cover songs. If you're going to do a cover song, trying to jump genres and to do, like if you did a rap song, but I like to use my example. If you're a dark pop artist and you're going to do something that's completely different from the original, it can be very effective and make a video go viral because it's so unique. Doing something the exact same way that it was done originally is totally fine. but it might not catch the viewer quite as much as if you were kind of crossing over genres and really switching things up. I mean, my first kind of, I guess, success, we'll say, on YouTube is that I did a dark pop version of The Weeknd's Blinding Lights song, right? So it just had a very, very different vibe. I slowed it down, and it was, you know, almost more mournful, a little sad. You guys can check it out. It's on my Miss Krystle YouTube channel, but, you know, that video did very well, and arguably because I did a dark pop interpretation of a high energy mainstream song. And I think the views, the last time I checked, it was just shy of like 300,000 views. So it was a good marketing tool. Hello, hello. All right, let's see. That makes sense. If I were to do songs, I would do ones that are either favorites or ones that hit close to home. I also like the do it in a different genre. Devil Driver, yes. Doing Sail. Oh, Courtney, I kind of love you. All right, and then on Facebook, Holly Henry is a cover artist I like more than most of the originals she has covered. Yeah, and it's so nice. It's so nice for artists when you have people who just love your interpretation, because that also is your art, right? So if you're just playing on your guitar and singing a song, that is still your interpretation of the song. That is your art. That is your creativity. So just to be like, I have zero creativity, I mean, that's not really the case. You absolutely do, even if you are doing cover songs. Thank you very much. So as far as my next cover song EP, I might do Blinding Lights, but just a piano version. I've been kind of playing around with it and getting your guys' votes when I go live on Thursday. So in any case, guys, if you haven't yet, please make sure you like this video. We'll be back on Friday at 7 p.m. p.s.t. But since we're doing a lot of talking about covers, I've been playing some cover songs, and I do live streams on Thursdays at 6 p.m. p.s.t. on Miss Krystle Instagram. So if you want to come over, follow and say hi, please do. We're going to get out of here, but make sure you check back on Friday, and we're going to run one more music video. This one is God Save Me, but Don't Drown Me Out. And since now we're starting to, we did a big push for the record label campaign. That ended yesterday. We filled all the spots. I'm very excited for all the new students, but we are now moving into the artist segment I should say artist phase. So we're going to be pushing a lot for the book, How to Keep Your Dukes Up in the Music Business. You can get it as a digital download on topmusicattorney.com. I love your faces. I am Top Music Attorney, Miss Krystle. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'll be in the chat. Have a good night, and let's watch the music video.